Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Super Destronaut DX. This is a Space Invaders clone from the same people that brought you games such as Inksplosion. And funnily enough, despite the fact that I've only got 20 minutes of game time on this game, yet again I've somehow managed to get the platinum. So, you know, there's your expectations. Let's go and smash them. So, this is, as I said, a Space Invaders clone. You've got 3 different modes and then a bunch of individual challenges that you can play. There is also something else that I need to go into immediately, and I'm going to turn it on just to prove my point. You have 3 graphics options here. I'm going to turn all 3 of them on. There's a reason for this. We're going to play Classic Mode for a little bit. So, as I said, this game is a Space Invaders clone, and it pretty much is in every sense of the word. It gives you a bunch of enemies here. They all have their own kind of bullets. I took a bloody hit right away there. They all have their own kinds of bullets. And, of course, it's Space Invaders, so they will get closer and closer to you. So you need to try and take them all out as fast as humanly possible. There are a couple of things they have changed. For one, that big orange ship up the top there, once you destroy that in a wave, you will get a power-up. These power-ups are very powerful, but don't last very long, so you want to use them as much as you possibly can, but general rule, you'll probably be able to destroy everything before the wave is out. Before the power-up runs out, you'll probably be able to destroy everything in the bloody wave, that's what I'm trying to say. There are a couple of other things. Randomly, some enemies will fall to the ground. I fucked up there, but there's a reason for that. We're not going to play that. No, we'll do it one more time just so you can get a really good idea of what's going on with these graphical settings. But yeah, these grey dudes will sometimes fall from the screen. They're basically the corpses of the enemy. You've also got them coming in from the background there. And if you run into them, you'll lose a life. Screw these guys. They are really fucking hard to see when you're trying to focus on your own ship and trying to avoid as many bullets as possible, which I absolutely failed at there. Because the game has some massive performance issues if you leave those graphics settings turned on. Like, seriously, the game is so fucking sluggish when you have these settings on. And the worst part is, 2 out of 3 of them are turned on by default. So, you have to deal with this shit if you don't go looking in the options menu and you don't even realize. The worst part about those power-ups is the amount of time they last is fucking tiny in comparison to everything else. And it seems like actually having these graphical options turned on actually fucks up the game's timing and pacing. So, like, enemies are more likely to fire, I've found, if you have those settings turned on. So let's go play Classic Mode again. Now I've turned all those settings off. Game start. See, it's so much smoother now. Like, it's almost insane how much smoother it is, and you can actually see when enemies are firing shots. Seriously, it makes it so fucking hard to tell whenever something is happening. It's kind of nuts how they would let performance issues like that through QA. It's retarded on so many levels. But yes, you can shoot the falling dudes for extra score. You'll get 50 per shot. There is also a multiplier, as you can see up in the top left there. And that multiplier goes up every time you destroy an enemy, but if you don't destroy an enemy quick enough, the multiplier will expire. You will also lose your multiplier if you lose a life. Strangely enough, you don't even explode or anything when you lose a life, you just flicker in place for a bit, get a little bit of invincibility, and then you can just go right back to what you were doing, which is thoroughly worse, in my personal opinion, than having like a little bit of an explosion and a tiny bit of a timeout to give you an idea of what hit you. But thankfully that invulnerability period lasts a lot longer than you expect it to, so running into something else right away won't actually, like, lose another life, so that's like the one good design decision they actually changed from the original Space Invaders in this game, because if I'm being perfectly honest, this game's kind of shit. It really isn't that engaging. The waves are procedurally generated, so you end up in a position where you don't really know what's coming next, so you can't really plan around it. And this will actually come back to bite you in the Challenges mode, and I will be showing off the Challenges mode once I die on this mode here. Notably, the requirement to get the Platinum Trophy in this game is to get 100,000 points on this mode, 10,000 points on the Time Attack, which is horrendously easy, and 1,000 points in the Hardcore mode. Time attack mode is basically every wave will have a power-up ship, and you have 90 seconds to get as many points as possible. You also have the hardcore mode, which is 1 life. And that's it. Like, well, we'll get into the challenges, but those are it for your basic modes, and none of them are particularly interesting. The only one that I think is even remotely fun is the time attack mode, and that's because you get the power-ups. But even then, you can't choose what power-ups you get. You only get to choose, well, you don't get to choose, but you only get the chance of getting something along the lines of the rocket, which basically means you can finish the wave as soon as you pick it up, because all you need to do is stay off to the side and just hold the X button. You get a piercing shot and you get a triple shot, and you also get a bomb shot. But the bomb shot is nowhere near as effective as you might hope it would be. It's not like Space Invaders Extreme, which is the game I'm going to be coming back to a lot in this video, because Space Invaders Extreme is thoroughly better than this game in every way. But the thing about the bomb shot in this game is that it doesn't actually seem to have that much splash effect. Like, sometimes it'll work, but most of the time it won't, and you'll be wondering why the hell it didn't blow up everything next to it. At least in Space Invaders Extreme it was consistent. In this game it really doesn't feel like it is. The triple shot and the piercing shot are exactly what you expect them to be, and so therefore they're not really that interesting to talk about. And I've already talked about the rocket, so you've basically seen everything this game has to offer within the last couple of minutes. And that's pretty much the state of things, really. You've seen everything there is to offer. Except for the challenge modes, obviously, but we'll get to them. Another thing I don't like is the multiplier, just because it dies really quickly and you don't have any sort of warning as to when your multiplier is going to expire. I keep coming back to Space Invaders Extreme, but the thing about Space Invaders Extreme is that it's actually a good game, and I like talking about Space Invaders Extreme. They recently re-released it on Steam, and if you can't get the European PSP version, which is actually available on the Vita, you should go buy it on Steam. But nevertheless, the thing about Space Invaders Extreme is it actually had a little counter on the left that told you when your multiplier was about to expire. This game does not. So you end up in a position where I will return shortly. That sounded weird. You know what that weird sound was? It was my dog coming through the doggy door. Nevertheless, so what was I saying? Well, might as well go have a look at the challenges. So, yeah, it's just, God, there are so many comparisons in this game that you can make to Space Invaders Extreme. But anyway, these are the challenges. You've got a bunch of simple ones up here, and these 12 up here are all you need to do to get the Platinum Trophy, but the rest of them are kind of annoying, because here's the thing. Kill 100 enemies in 40 seconds in Classic Mode. Sounds simple enough. However, the problem with this is that the waves are just as random as they are in the Classic Mode, so you might end up in the position where if you don't get any waves that have any power-ups, you're not going to be able to do the challenge, because it just takes way too freaking long to wipe out everything else otherwise. And that's basically the reason why the challenges suck. A lot of them are luck-based. Some of them aren't. Like, there are ones that are literally just, you know, get 1,000 points on, 100,000 points, I should say, on hard mode. Or get, you know, get 40 shots in on a falling corpse. You know, but when they add the time limits to everything, it means that you just don't stand a chance. Like, there is a... Like, I would have had to wipe out another full wave in order to stand a chance there. So I would have had to have replayed that challenge over and over and over again until they gave me a ship with a power-up that I could use to get through one wave quicker. It's retarded, honestly. And since none of them are preset or anything like that, yeah, like, hit a grey one 50 times in 60 seconds. You would need to get at least 3 corpses to drop, and that is very unlikely to do, at least I think in 50 seconds anyway. Might as well go play some time attack.
Game start.
But yeah, the thing about this is it just doesn't give me any reason to keep coming back to it. There's no depth to it. There's no strategy. Since the waves are going to be completely random every single time, it means that you're not going to be able to memorize patterns in order to get high scores. You're just going to have to wait for the next wave to come down and hope that you can, you know, make it work for you. Like, basically the strategy in this game is, did a power-up ship come down? Get the power-up ship. It'll get your points faster. If it didn't come down, well, screw you. You're just out of luck. That's pretty much the entire game in a nutshell. Compare that to Space Invaders Extreme, once again. Space Invaders Extreme has preset waves. the different colors actually mean something, the different enemy types actually mean something, and just the overall general quality of the visuals and audio is way fucking higher. Like, seriously. This game looks okay, but again, if you want it looking as good as it possibly can look, which to be fair isn't really that great to begin with, it's going to cost you some frame rate and some smoothness, to put it as lightly as possible. So you just end up in a position where it's just, you've seen everything the game has to see after 10 minutes, and there's just no strategy to it whatsoever. You can hold your power-ups in Space Invaders Extreme. You can go for, well, I was thinking Bingo, but Bingo was something they added in Space Invaders Extreme too. But you can, there's just so much more strategy to it in Space Invaders Extreme, and it makes going for high scores a really big thing. Game over. Right. Time survived a minute 30. Cool. My high score was a lot higher on that one for some reason. Hardcore. But yeah, this game just got nothing on Space Invaders Extreme. It has next to no strategy. It has next to no longevity, and the one thing that would give the longevity, which are the challenges, are just pointless because they're luck-based. Oh, I guess enemies fire a little bit more often in hardcore. Fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, if you're looking for a good Space Invaders Extreme clone that doesn't take itself too seriously, go check out, or not so much, no. If it doesn't take itself too seriously, look up, Titan Attacks. Yeah, Titan Attacks, that was the name of it. It's a game by Puppy Games on Vita, and it does a way better job at being the Space Invaders clone that this is trying to be. If you want a Space Invaders game that is Space Invaders, but adds a lot on top, and therefore adds a lot of strategy and great atmosphere and just general fun to it, go get either the PSP version of Space Invaders Extreme if you're in Europe, or the PC version if you're in North America, because Space Invaders Extreme isn't in the North American store anymore, and I'm not entirely sure why that's a thing, but yeah, this game really isn't worth your time. It's only $5, but again, save your money, get something better. I think Titan Attacks is around the same price, if not like $10, so there you go. Not really worth the time, although then again, the game is stupidly easy, so if you want that platinum, you can, it is incredibly easy to pick this game up and get a platinum in 20 minutes. You even get a bunch of gold trophies with it. So, you know, if you're a trophy hunter, this game is for you. For everybody else, get something else. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.